Okay, so in an effort to not downplay or sugarcoat this fact, this one's being a bit more trouble than these have been in the past, and I've been sitting here fiddling with this and hand fitting it and filing a tiny bit and trying again and it not working for about 2.5, 3-ish hours. So I wasn't expecting that of this. All the other two I have done did not treat me that way, but there's pins in it. The sheath is in it. It's all in there now, and I'm gonna try to record getting the key in there. It's gonna be super friggin' awkward with one hand though. I don't know why I didn't set the tripod back up. I put it away, and I'm trying to do the latter half of this video with no tripod, like an idiot. There. There. Gotta be careful, there's no circlip on it. And so what I did is, for the last little bit of fitting, I loaded it up with they're just the serrated pins that come in an American. I loaded it up with those pins, and I've been putting the key in and taking it out over and over and over again to work things into a fit, which is kind of the cheap way of doing it, but it does work. So there you go. Not done by a long shot. This part of the process took longer than I thought, but there it is assembled. So the part I'm not going to show is like making pins specific to this so that they're evil, because you want, like, basically you want spools, and you want them to have a very thin head on them. Oh, pardon me. You want spools with a very thin head on them, and possibly multiple spool elements if there's room. And spooled key pins don't hurt. And so I haven't done any of that. These are just standard pins in there right now. But yeah, I mostly wanted to point out the ridiculous amount of time this apparently occasionally takes. But again, this isn't hard. I've just been sitting here I went and got dinner, I'm watching some stuff on YouTube, it's not like it's been hard labor for 3 hours. It's just this took a lot longer to fit together than I thought it would. So anyway, that's the next update. I'll get to the next lock when I get to it. Okay, so for style 2, the last time I did this, I specifically only made one that went over 3 of the pinholes, because that happens to be the width of my file, and it was really convenient to do. This time I'm going to try to do all of them, because I see no reason why this shouldn't work. And as far as I can tell, the only functional way to deal with the circlip, I have 2 stacked on here to fill the whole gap. The only functional way to deal with that is to cut away the material on the lock core, and it'll be replaced by the facing edge of the plate when we install it. And as long as the plate has nowhere to go on this side either, it should just be fine. It might get weird if the circlip has one of the edges crossing over it, but I don't think it should be able to pop the circlip out or anything. It should stay, but it's going to require some experimentation. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a flat across this whole thing. This flat, by design, needs to be pretty aggressive, whereas the other one, it doesn't really need to be. In theory, the way I did the sheath for the Type 1, you don't have to have a gap. You don't have to file a flat under there at all if you don't want to. It just works a hell of a lot better if you do. Doing this way, where you just file this big flat and put the plate on top of it, the flat needs to be pretty wide so that you have a good shelf to put the plate on. But I'm going to get to that. I've got my half-round file here, and my trusty flat file. I think you can sort of see what that looks like on that side. This side doesn't cut, it's not sharp, but this side is sharp. I think finally I framed up the difference so you can see it. But I'm going to use these on here. I got the spacers. These are going to act as spacers, so I hopefully don't, cut too much into... I want there to be material under these all the way around, if at all possible, and then the flat will be beside it, so that if it starts to offset, if it starts to move, it should have something to sit on, and hopefully it won't pop this way, because the plate will be there. But this is all the fitment thing. One thing I didn't bring up when I was comparing them, I'm pretty sure that the two of them both are relatively demanding of dimensions. Like, I mentioned the huge amount of time of, like, fitting everything together with the previous one, but that one, I'm not sure why, but that gave me a hell of a lot more trouble than when I did it with the Schleg. It went together, even though I was, like, basically inventing the process, it still took less time when I did it with the Schleg, and I don't know, I might have just got really lucky that first time. But, as far as this goes, this one was fiddlier the way that the previous attempt turned out. So, like, the first time I did one of these. So I don't know. It's a little strange, the comparison there, but it should work out. I'm gonna get started on this, and hopefully it won't take me as long as the last one, but we'll see. Okay, so using this clamp and these two files and this emery board because it's handy. Got this nice solid flat here on there. I'm pretty sure this is good. Might need to go a little deeper, but this is about as deep as you can go without having to knock the bits in between the holes out, to be honest. There's like about a millimeter of material depth there, maybe less. Any more and there's no stability, and it'll just be like foil, and you gotta knock it out so it doesn't fall off into the lock. But I think this is gonna be just enough. I got this cut out rough from the tubing, and because it's rough, it does not really fit. One hand. Alright, it is bigger than it needs to be, and overlaps. So I'm going to need to clamp that up, file one edge until it fits, and showing it to you now because this is the stage it's at and now I start doing the fitting and filing and all of that jazz. So it's just about 10 o'clock. I'll be back with you guys when it fits together. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes, and currently this all now fits together. And the circlip, just for this demonstration I didn't, but the circlip fits on the back there too, and it pretty much holds this. It doesn't have a whole lot of room to move this way, but it gets rid of what little there is, and it's got a wee bit of room to move side to side, but again, once it's inside the lock body, it doesn't really do that much. So the next step is to drill the holes, which is a little bit fiddlier with this one, because I don't have a way to locate it like I did the other one. But unless I come up with some crazy novel way of doing that, other than just holding it and hoping, I'll be back when I'm done doing that part, and I'll show you how long it took. Okay, so here's what I came up with. I put the key in it, and I'm going to have to be very careful. I'm probably going to just drill little divots, and then take it all apart and take the part out and drill the part separately, clamp down somehow once I have the, like, pilot divots. But this way, with the key in it, because I don't want to fuck up the key with the drill bit, with the key in it, it more or less keeps it from rotating, it locates it fairly well, and it should work. Fingers crossed. Oh god. If I was really smart, what I would do is take one of these lock bodies and drill it through from the bottom so that, you know, it's like a training lock or whatever, and use that as my, like, guide, but this actually works more than well enough. I think I might have been a little ambitious using the power drill for the last one, but to be honest, the issue with the last one, I think, is that I drifted a bit when I put the locating pin in. I think I drifted a little sideways with that, and that's what gave me the issue, because it kind of fit together better, and then I put that thing in and it fit together worse, so I'm guessing that had something to do with it. But this is how I'm going to do that. That seems like a pretty solid method of locating that. So again, I'll be back once it's done. Okay, addendum to the plan. I've pulled the key out slightly so that I can drill the number 6 first. And then once number 6 is drilled first, well, you know, without risking the key, I mean, once number 6 is drilled, I'll put my little like holder pin back in, and then I'll drill the other ones so that they're all located to that one, and that should do. That should do. I think if I was super smart, I would drill that one, and then that one, and then put another locator pin in, and then drill the others. I might do that if it seems really wobbly, because this one's got more wiggle room, which means that it's harder to get all these aligned, but also means that it matters a little bit less, because, like, it moves around when the pins hit it with force. I don't know. We'll see how it works. We're always sort of playing it by ear. That's sort of just how life works. So anyway, I'll be back once I got something more to show. Okay. And it's literally still full of, like, chips, even. But so this one's going together better than the first one of this type that I made. And the previous one that I made on camera went together a lot harder than the previous one of that type that I made. Go figure. Anyway, that's why I'm doing this, because science. I'm going to start trying to fit it with the key and the pins, and I'll get back to you. Okay, so that did not take very long at all, actually. For reasons that can best be described as gremlins, I don't goddamn know. This one basically just went together on the first try, and it was really weird. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was just like I needed to get my groove on, and the second one of whichever order I did them in was going to be better or what, but this one... Come on, do it on camera. There we go. There. Now, this one's only got 5 pins in it. Is it gonna... Alright. There we go. She's a little jiggly, but she would be. She prefers to open in the direction that it will be able to in the lock, that's fine. But she prefers to open in the one direction, more so than the others. This one's only got 5 pins in it, the other one had 6. One of the pins in the other one was like ground down a little to be the 6th pin. So that might have contributed to the fiddliness versus this one. But this one, it's looking great. Kinda can't believe it. I'm gonna get the circlip on there. Can I do this with one? Oh, let's see. This is for your guys' amusement. Can I do this with one hand? Through the camera, one hand. Can I do it? This is like the real Locksport Olympics right here. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can do this. Okay, I gotta use like the body of the lock to support it. Yeah. Oh, that was the trick. Yes! Whoa! Okay, yeah, so... See my... Oh, it's so hard. There we go. Still didn't go get the tripod, because I'm stupid. But I kind of can't believe how well this worked. This one just went together like a dream. It was awesome. Alright. Perfect. Oh no, there we go. That's how it opened easy. But yeah. That's great. I'm happy as fuck with that, and because it'll be less fiddly if I do it this way, I'm going to disassemble it. I'm probably going to disassemble them both and lay them both out so I can just get like a shot there and do the outro. So I'll be back with that. Okay, I got them both apart, and I don't have this one entirely apart because at this stage of the game I'm really worried about snapping it in half and work hardening this, because ultimately there is only the teensiest little bit of metal left holding this together, because I broke through on that side. So, want to be careful about taking that apart over and over again. I popped the pin out, it's there. Still got all the pins in it. This one over here, I was more able to take apart. I'm super happy with how this one turned out. I'm going to have to get a 6 pin in it. All of these, the pins are still stock. I'm going to need to fiddle with them. All these pins are going to be turned into Devious evil pins to better suit my needs. I can't do this through the camera. I think I got it backwards. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so those, there we go. These both work rather happily well. And, in conclusion, this time, Style 1 was such a butthole, Style 2 went together so easily, that even though I was jokingly saying this one's better to begin with, I kind of buy-in for this one now. Maybe it's to do with this being on an American core, I'm not sure how that would affect it, but when I did this style on the Schlage, it went together so much easier than this, and I don't know why. At this point I'm thinking it might have been a fluke. I got both cores there, they're still standard entirely. But yeah, I haven't tried to pick either of them yet, because I literally just finished. It's kind of late, so my commentary is probably collapsing slightly. I've been at this all day. For you guys and gals and whatever. This is fun, though. This is a pretty fun day of work. What else am I thinking? I guess I should note the bidding. On this one, that's the bidding for the key, and so you can see these super low ones. That's going to give lots of room in there for the driver to snag up, which is what I want. This one, I just got this key. I did not pick out this key, and to be honest, it should be fine. There's that number 2 here. It's not going to be a big deal to pick, but it might be issue for oversetting it, so I'll probably put a nice dirty spool on that. Christmas tree. Oh, that would work. Alright, but yeah, I'll worry about all that later. At some point or another, there's probably going to be more detailed pictures, videos, something like that to follow about each of these 2 locks as the builds on each of them get further along. But for now, I'm pretty sure the tutorial part of this is basically done. Oh, you know what? For the very last shot, I'm gonna set up my tripod so I can quickly assemble these on camera. So I'll be back with that. Okay, so reassembly. I'm gonna do this one first because it's the fiddliest. Or it won't work. Is that the right key? No. And I know what you're all thinking. Why did I just not use those pinning tweezers that are right there? Why did I just not use them twice in a row? And the answer is because I'm stupid. Very stupid. Anyway, speaking of stupid, I only have the one follower, so yeah, okay. There we go. This one's probably going to be a massive asshole to pick. I can't wait! And you. I guess I might as well put this in here. So that it's in there. Three times. There we go. This plate doesn't seem to have a preference. It seems to work both ways, but it seems to work a little better the one way. That's this way. It sort of sits on top of the pins, but it won't do that when it's inside the lock, because the plate needs to lift up to do that. But I gotta sort of try to get all the pins actually through the holes for assembly. There we go. give the key a very light jiggle. Solves that problem. Also, this one doesn't have a pin on the bottom, so it's easier to handle, and it doesn't matter what way any of this is assembling, as long as I don't let those fall out while I'm putting it together for the same reason. The other one, you gotta be careful and align it all right, and that's, again, one of the reasons why I should have made it 90 degrees, the pin on this one, to hold it together, because it just makes assembling everything easier. I thought I might get a little bit more room and drill it at an angle, but none of that paid off. So I should have just drilled it at exactly 90 degrees, would have made life hell on the other side. I should have drilled it at exactly 90 degrees on that side, and it would have been a fuckload easier. But whatever, you know, we're not doing this because it's the easy way. I think that's more than clear at this point. But yeah. I think just from that bit, just from right there, it should be clear that this one works a lot better than that one in terms of the key. But the easier it is for the key to work, the easier it is to pick it. So, you know, as long as the key works, you kind of want it to not work that well. No, I'm lying. That's a lie, I tell myself. There we go. And so there you go. That's how you do this. And the most complex tool that I used was, like, you know, a clamp and a power drill. Like, there's a huge time investment involved, because, what time is it? Yeah, you know, that's, for the second half here, I tried to give you some more, like, sense of time, because it got away from me the first time, and I didn't want to make this look simpler than it was. No, it's not that it's complicated. It is simple. It's just time-consuming. But I've been, you know, watching TV, doing other stuff. It's totally doable. Don't look at some guy with a lathe in a machine shop doing some crazy, mad core work. Don't look at that and think to yourself, this is impossible. Because it's not. It's just, via the conventional logic of how it's done, you can't do it that way. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. That just means you need to use unconventional logic to do it that way, and that's an entirely different kettle of fish than you can't do this, because, hey. So yeah, hopefully these ideas will disseminate and, you know, ruin some people's days in the most entertaining way possible, but definitely ruin some pickers' days with this. But yeah, I hope this comes in handy. Have yourselves a good one, everybody.